Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sarfraz Karim and now we are going to understand the Fiedler Contingency Theory of Leadership. Fiedler Contingency Theory, which is also known as Fiedler Situational Theory. This theory is based on situation type of leadership. We already know about the various theory of the leadership like trait theory, great man theory, behavioral theory, contingency theory, modern theory. Under the contingency theory, under the situational theory, this Fiedler has developed a model after doing a rigorous research. On the basis of his research, he come out with the outcome which we are going to study in the form of his theory, Fiedler Contingency Theory. So the Fiedler Contingency Theory, which is also known as the situational theory. So when we are talking about the situational theory, there must be the effectiveness of leadership depend upon the situation, and this theory or all the situational theory is saying that there is no one theory which can be applied for all the situation, but the leadership effectiveness, leadership style can be changed, or if style cannot be changed, we should change the leader as per the situation. This is the main theme or keyword for the contingency theory. So as per the Fiedler, as per his research, he is saying that effectiveness of leadership depend upon two factors. First factor is leadership style. It means first Fiedler, as per the Fiedler, as per his research, he is saying that we have to identify the style of a leader, whether a leader is a task oriented, or a leader is a relationship oriented, or a leader is a moderate where he has a mix of task and human resource. After understanding or after identifying the leadership style, we have to see the different situational variable. So there may be different variables, and as per those variables, which leadership style is applied or effective more. This is the basic theme of this theory. So leadership style has to be identified first, then different situation having their combination will have to be identified, then we will see which leadership style will effective in which case. So at the beginning, Fiedler tried to understand the leadership style through his research. He has developed a questionnaire of 16 questions. The 16 question is based on the traits or characteristics or adjective of the leader. He developed a questionnaire, and that questionnaire is known as least preferred co-worker, LPC scale. The scale is up to and consists of 16 question, 16 items, 16 characteristics, and characteristics is like this: pleasant, unpleasant, friendly, unfriendly, rejecting, accepting, unenthusiastic, enthusiastic. Like this, there are the 16 items, 16 questions are there. And every colleagues, every leader, every co-worker, every subordinate has to fill this form. And after that, like you can see one of the scale, one of the question which is there, friendly, unfriendly. If somebody got around 1 or 2, it means he is more of the task oriented side. If somebody got around 7 to 8, he is more of the relationship oriented. One thing you should remember, it is not like that if some person, some leader got high marks on this scale or of all the 16 questions with are good style or good leader, or somebody got the less, is no, it's not like that. It is like this: if somebody got high marks on this scale like 80 or above 80, he is more relationship oriented leader. His style is more relationship oriented. If somebody gets less mark like less than 58, less than 55 or 40, 45, like this, it means he is task oriented leader. His style is mostly task oriented. Or if somebody is getting between 60 to 80, he is moderate style of leadership. So that is the basic things, or this is the first which a federal wants to know what the leadership a person or a manager or a leader possesses by his LPC questionnaire, least preferred questionnaire. And as per this, if somebody got, as I told, high score on LPC means relationship oriented leader. If somebody got low score on LPC means task oriented leader. Here we should remember one basic things, which is the assumption of federal, which is also the what you call as the criticism for this theory. It is like that after identifying the leadership style, it cannot be changed. Means this is the assumption of this theory that leadership style don't change or it cannot be changed. It may be true or it may not be true, but this is the assumption, and also this is the criticism of this theory. Let us move to the second factor, which is the situational factor. Under the situational factor, there can be many factors, but Fiedler identify three main factors. What are those three main factors? Three factors work together to determine how favorable or unfavorable a situation is for any leader. This situation is based upon a leader point of view. What is these factors? First factor is leader member relationship. Means how a relationship between leader and member. What does it mean? Whether they want to work together, whether they have the trust with each other, where their willingness to work, where their willingness to share the ideas, where they are happy to work together. If this thing is there, it means the leader member relationship is good. And if this thing is not there, suppose trust is not there, group members are not very likely to meet with leader, they are hiding the things, they are not very much willingness to work with the leader, it is the relationship is poor. So relationship between the leader and member can be good or poor. We have a different example. Generally a new manager appointed who is coming from outside, people have the less faith on them, so relationship at the initial stage may be the poor. After some times it may become good. So like this way leader member relationship can be identified. Second factor is task structure. Task structure means whether the task or whether the operational environment of the organization is well defined, clearly defined, structured, or everything is rule and regulation is defined, responsibility is very clear, roles are very much identified or not. If these things are very much clear to everyone, clear identification is there, structures are there, authority is well defined, it means task structure is high. Like in case of all big organization, especially all the organization which is the production unit or into the manufacturing units, or the like Pepsi, Coke, car manufacturing units, they have the task structure on a high side. Some organization, especially the small organization, especially the new organization who are still trying to do some more experiment and their tasks are not very much clear, their task structure comes under the low. Means rules and regulations are changing nowadays, their nature is ambiguous, variables are more there, non-routine tasks are there, so these type of task structure is low. So task structure can be high or low. Third one is position power. The third situation factor is position power. Whether the leader has a strong power means he has the power to assign someone, recommend someone, fire someone, hire someone, promote someone, appoint someone. If he is the whole and sole power or the high power, it means his power is strong. If it is not like that, means he cannot recommend or he cannot assign or he cannot promote someone, and he has to take the permission from top level, or this decision is totally centralized to the top level, it means the position power is weak. So this is the three different situation. Already first thing we identify the type or style of the leader through LPC. It can be task oriented or relationship oriented or moderate. The same thing, we have identified the leader member relationship, task structure, and the position power. Now, on the basis of these situation, there can be the 8 different possibility, 8 different combination can be possible. Like if you see here, the first situation is at your left side, situations are there, all 3 situations are there: leader member relationship, task structure, and possibility. There are the 8 different possibility. And from a leader point of view, first possibility is all 3 things are favorable, like leader member relationship is good, task structure is high, leader position power is strong. This is called as the favorable condition. Second is also somehow favorable, because 2 things are at the positive side, one is little bit weak. And if you go to the very last, eighth one, unfavorable, which is there in the red picture: poor, low, and weak, completely unfavorable from a leader point of view. And somehow unfavorable is the 7th position: poor, low, and strong. I recommend that you will draw the possibility, different 8 possibility by yourself. Then you will easily understand how these all things possible. So here we can understand that if the conditions are totally favorable or somehow favorable, like in case of first and second condition, and totally unfavorable and somehow unfavorable, like in case of 7 and 8, the task oriented leadership is recommended. Task oriented, you can see on the top, the task oriented red one is at the peak, and in between 3, 4, 5, 6 cases, moderate, means the situations are at the moderate. So in this case, relationship oriented leadership is recommended. And this is the all about Fiedler contingency model. It's saying that depend upon the situation, depend upon the possibility of the situation, and only 3 situations, because this is the another limitation. As per the Fiedler, he is only discuss about the 3 different situation, and on the basis of these 3 different situation, 8 different possibility can be happen. And all these 8 possibilities, 2 are very favorable or favorable, 2 are unfavorable or very unfavorable, and 4 are in between. So favorable and unfavorable is totally. So if the situation variables are very favorable or very unfavorable, like in case of first, second, 7 and 8 case, task oriented leadership is recommended. And if the situation is moderate, like in case of 3, 4, 5 and 6, relationship oriented leadership style is recommended. So this is all about the Fiedler contingency. It's a 3-step process. First, we have to identify what type of leader we have, whether he is a task oriented, whether he is a relationship oriented. After identifying these things, the second stage is we have to find out the situation variable, whether the relationship between the manager and follower is, or leader and follower is, high or low, whether the task structure is high or low or strong or weak, and the finally where the position power of the leader is high or low. So on the basis of these 3 things, 8 different possibility can be possible. And favorable in case of leader point of view, if things are favorable or totally unfavorable, means very favorable and very unfavorable, task oriented leadership is recommended. And moderate favorable, relationship oriented leadership is recommended. This is all about Fiedler contingency or Fiedler situational leadership theory and model. I hope this one is clear. We will see the another model